The Mayan code and its mysterious predictions. Mexican scientists and historians have confirmed the authenticity and antiquity of the Mayan code that dates back about 1,000 years and represents the oldest pre-Hispanic text. The Mayan Codex of Mexico is authentic and boasts the oldest sensitive manuscript on the American continent, said anthropologist Diego Prieto Hernandez, Director General of Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, in a press conference. And according to studies, the Codex Maya, formerly known as the Grolier, has been radiocarbon dated to between 1021 and 1154 AD. All this makes it the oldest known pre-Hispanic codex. The authenticity of the codex had been questioned for two reasons: that it had been found after looting, so there were no archaeological documents of its original context, and that its style differs from other known Maya codices whose authenticity has been proven. In this way, a group of experts from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM, Shin Vestav Querétaro, and the University of Colorado undertook a task of verifying the authenticity of the text. The 10 leaves of the codex, which measure on average 12.5 centimeters in length, must have belonged to a set of at least 20 leaves. These codes are backed by 3 layers of beloved paper bark. The study conducted by the anthropologist and physicist Dr. Josefina Bautista of the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, concluded that the features of the human figures in the codex belong to the early post-classical Maya Toltec style and have no affinity to the recent naturalistic classical Maya seen in, for example, the Dresden Code, with which it was compared. This is understandable given that when the Maya Codex was written, it was a period of crisis in Mesoamerica caused by the fall of Teotihuacan around 650 AD, caused by small groups. The expert emphasized that the content of the Mayan code consists of a divination calendar for the cycle of Venus, a topic related to the period of good harvests and weather forecasting, which was of fundamental importance to the ancients in times of scarcity. The Dresden Code and the Star Lords. One of the oldest and most important codices from Mayan times is the Dresden Code, having escaped the movement with the same city that was the protagonist bombed in 1945. This Codex of Dresden, preserved for years in the library, was written in the ancient Mayan language and contains in its few pages intact about 70 important notes. The cycles of Venus and the eclipses of the sun and the moon. The accuracy of the annotations contained in what remains of the original Dresden Code is impressive considering the fact that the reported predictions concern astronomical events far distant in time and place. The text talks about the solar eclipse of August 11, 1991 in the territory of Mexico. There is an image representing death sitting on a throne of bones, symbolizing the age that is ending. And this image, together with the eclipse they speak of, represents for Maya a moment of transition, in which the transition to the new age and the, quote, end of the Jaguar Nights, end quote, takes place, and speaks of the next meeting with the, quote, Lords of the Stars, end quote. This is very similar to the overlords of Egypt that the Tully Papyrus talks of, witnessed by the pharaoh of Egypt at that time, who called the extraterrestrials landing over the Giza pyramids the overlords of Egypt. Now, the Mayans spoke of a new golden age which would be born from the ashes of the previous one. This will be witnessed in the coming years by the famous crop circles, which will appear not only in southern England, as is commonly believed, but also in many other cereal crops in Bolivia, Canada, and Peru. The Maya crop circle appeared in 1996 in West Kennet, UK. A formation represents the center of the Milky Way, which the Mayans describe as the cosmic butterfly, from which life originates. The cosmic butterfly will be the black hole called Sagittarius A. For many scholars, the most important element is the last page of the code, where you can see the water engulfing everything. Coming out of the volcanoes, the sun, and the moon, it creates darkness around itself where before there was light. From this, it's not difficult to see how, interpreting the last part, we might think of the flood, as happened in the case of the supposed disappearance of Atlantis. Other dire predictions at the end of the year are the melting of the glaciers, and according to more recent sources, a kind of water prophecy linked to the recent studies done at CERN in Geneva. However, the Maya did not speak of the end of the world, but only of the end of a world, or rather the end of an era, and the beginning of a golden age. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.